He's pumped up, and he should be, because he's up 2-0 over Bakuryu. And, you know, I mean, Bakuryu, I think ZBT is not his strongest matchup, but to have lost those 2 games in that fashion, he has got to be a little bit tilted. Just a little bit. I mean, his mustache is probably twitching a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Project's going to be the purple Terran in the bottom left. Bakuryu will be the white Zerg in the bottom right. Wow, I almost messed with my XSplit on accident. That would have been terrible. And it looks like we have the Zerg music this time. That's cool, that's cool. We're showing our love, showing our support for Bakuryu. Because I do believe he needs he needs our love and support right now, given his somewhat dire situation. Actually, you know what? You know what this music reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of the Tron movie that came out recently. You know, just like listen to this theme. Doesn't that remind you of like the Tron movie? Which had some really sick music, by the way. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, looks like we have another wall at the front. So no no 10 fact shenanigans this time. And Bakuryu similarly is also just making drones, so not going to make an early pool either. We might actually have our first standard game of the day. And you know, I would actually like to see just, you know, a 1-Rax FE against 3-Hatch Muta, just so we know, you know, in a straight up fight, how they both do. Because while these like crazy, you know, 2-base hive and 10 fact builds are fun and stuff to watch, it's really hard to like gauge the skill of the players from them, because sometimes, you know, you 9-pool and then he has like a sick wall and then you have a vulture in your base and you lose, and it's not really indicative of your actual skill. So I would like to see some macro action. Anyway, I would imagine that this is just a 1-Rax FE from Project. I think he can actually make a completely link type wall like this. Look, I mean, look at this Project, man. He knows his walls. At the very least, he knows his walls. And why is there no pool? Is this a 3-hatch before pool? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are lacking in the spawning pool department. I'm afraid we are all out of pools here. And this is going to be perfect, because look at that. Project was about to build a command center. He builds it, but he sees a 3-hatch. He's like, oh, but he's going to delay a pool a little bit. Being a little bit annoying with the SCV, blocking that drone from making a spawning pool. But looks like Bakuryu, he went for the hive rush. He went for the 9-pool, and now he's like, okay, screw it. Those didn't work, so I'm just going to 3-hatch. Going for the quote-unquote macro cheese. Ay. Alright, well, in this case, at least it's going to work quite nicely. 3-hatch before pool is fine. It's great against a 1-Rax FE. I mean, there's no way that the Terran can really attack you. He's going to have, like, a Marine. So, yeah, very, very nice. And Bakuryu immediately getting his gas after the pool. So he's going to have a pretty nice economy here in the early mid-game. And do we have another mech build from Project? It looks like we do indeed. We also have Zaraki in the channel, by the way. Zaraki, shoutouts to you. I was telling everybody how you 3-1 Project. Which is pretty sick. But it looks like Project must have gotten really mad and just like practiced TVZ hardcore after that series, because he is just owning it up today. I can't believe it. And yes, indeed, it looks like the exact same build so far from game 1. Getting an engineering bay. I expect a second factory about now. He got it right before his first one was finished in the first game. Is he gonna make another factory? No? No? Am I wrong? Oh. That's quite sad. Usually I only miscall ZBZ builds. Oh well. We do have a lair and a second gas here. And no sign of a den. Looks like the SCV will see the lair. But I mean, he would expect that anyway, obviously. So, oh, because it's actually not going to be the same build as the initial game. It's actually going to be a starport. So, this, is he, like, what, I'm trying to think, what was he planning? Like a Vulture drop, Valkyries, fast vessel, whatever it was, it's gonna get spotted. Wait a minute, no, it's not gonna get spotted by the Overlord. Oh no, Bakuryu, I think, was barely out of range. I'm almost certain he was out of range. He just went far enough in to see the gas, and he's gonna save the Overlord, but I think it might have been worth losing that to see the starport. He is going for the Spire, he's going for a standard 3-hatch Muta, but what is this build? I think this is going to be either Vessels or perhaps Valkyries, a Valconic build, could it be? I don't know, I think Vessels is going to be slightly more likely. Yeah, it is going to be Vessels. And yeah, of course there's no armory, so it is going to be a very fast Science Vessel build with a standard bio. And he's going to be playing against 3-hatch Muta off of a very strong initial economy from that 3-hatch 4 pool, so let's see how this works out. I don't know, I mean, you know, he's gonna have a very fast Irradiate, but if Bakuryu can just pull the if Bakuryu can just pull the Irradiated Muta, I mean, it's not gonna do that much, and he's gonna have a very low marine count, so he doesn't even have bunker at the front. Mining the second gas already. I actually didn't notice when he put that down, but it feels quite fast. I can't see the gas value, unfortunately. We do have 9 mutas now in production, I would imagine. Actually, this one egg is not being spent, or rather the one larva. Scan there, so he does see the Spire. And by the way, this has not been made into a sunken yet. I quite like that. Just, you know, saving the extra 50 minerals. He knows he doesn't need it just yet. He's got the Ling at the front. As soon as he sees a move out, he can just morph that into a sunken, so it'll be fine. Going up to 4 barracks, I'd imagine that's Stim, and getting Irradiate as well. So Bakuryu's going to have a small window of time here where Project's marine count is super low, and he doesn't have an Irradiate yet, so Bakuryu should be able to do quite a bit of damage. But then, when the Irradiate gets out, that's gonna be when we see, you know, just how good is Bakuryu's splitting, and how good is, I guess, Project's Irradiate timing. You know, you don't want to just like throw it down immediately, because then the Zerg, you know, it's an interesting timing actually. Like a lot of times I'll see, you know, the Terran players will have an Irradiate ready and they won't use it. They just like wait for a good moment when the mutas are perfectly stacked, and then they just throw it down, and it's like really hard for the Zerg to get the Irradiated guy out. Anyway, Bakuryu, I keep mixing these guys up. Bakuryu has taken the top right base. He's got his Hydra Den, he's getting 2 evolution chambers actually, going for double upgrades. Usually Zergs only go for 1 and just go for carapace, but perhaps that's a result of his you know, stronger economy after the opening, that he can afford a second one. I'm not 100% sure. Perhaps that's just one deviation. Anyway, he is doing a lot of damage here, as I said. Irradiate seems to have finished, and Bakuryu's going after the Science Vessel. Looks like he will not get it, and will suffer a lot of damage here. Oh, is he going to go back? No, he will not. He's got a few Lings hiding out here, perhaps ready to do a counterattack or something like that, if the Terran does push out. Meanwhile, we have a few Hydras going to morph into Lurkers here. This is a reverse ramp map, so you know, it's the positioning of the Lurkers at the bottom is a little bit more tricky, I think, than just, you know, putting 2 on the top of a ramp. But, you know, he can definitely defend that just fine with 3 Lurkers. 1 Vulture running around the map. Gonna get chased around. Looks like Project's actually pulled guys from this gas. No, it just puts them back as I say it. I think they're mannered a little bit, are they? No, they're actually... Is this not even mannered? It's slightly... Yeah, it is just a touch. But it's not terrible. I believe that Vulture's dead. I can't see it on the minimap anymore. And the Lurkers are finished now, so Baku's 3rd gas is going to go up quite nicely. He's got a few Scourge out, take out those vessels. And I would hope that he's making use of the double evolution chamber. It's going to get probably +1 melee and carapace. So I believe that's just 1 vessel. There should be a second one. Yeah, okay, looks like it's getting repaired. And... Well, looks like we're going to have a bit of a lull in the action. Project is keeping most of his Marines here by his barracks, protecting his production facilities. Sieging up at the front. Looks like Project is going to be a bit defensive for now. No Queen's Nest just yet. I would expect to see one soon, especially now that this third gas is finished. Unless Bakuryu is going for some kind of crazy Hydra Lurker mid-game, there should be a Queen's Nest. Yeah, okay, there it is. And an additional hatchery in the main. One random Ling, random Overlord just scouting around. Looks like we're going to reposition this guy. He does still need to keep it landed though. I think he'll get energy eventually when he feels like he can afford it. Second engineering bay. And going to kill his own turret, probably just so he can build some more barracks there. It's interesting that he didn't just build it off by 1 hex. I guess Project likes to have his barracks all lined up. And he's also pulling the barracks back from the front. Gonna move out. Meanwhile, Bakuryu's taking this this fourth base. This is relatively early. I mean, I think usually the Zergs would wait until they had some defilers out before taking that. I mean, that's the safest time. But Bakuryu feels like he can take this already, and I think he's correct. He's got a decent number of lurkers. His hive is morphing. He's in good shape. He's actually making a lot of hydras, and he actually is going for Hydra Lurker. Okay. Wow, awesome. I was gonna say I saw a lot of hydras being made. I didn't think you could make that many lurkers. That, I didn't think he had that much gas. But yeah, it's gonna be Hydra Lurker, and this is but still with a relatively quick hive. I mean, usually when we see Hydra Lurker, the hive is quite a bit delayed, and this hive was not really delayed that much in my opinion. My timings aren't perfect, but I think the hive is still on time, and he's going Hydra Lurk. The problem though is that he actually doesn't have that many hydras. Okay, now he's got some more. He actually needs a few more hydras, I think, because there's 4 sea shanks here. Those will make short work of Hydra Lurk. But Bakuryu is getting his 4th gas. He's just leaving these mutas here. I assume these are just to defend against a drop. But I don't know. Might be worth bringing them back to maybe mutabomb the vessel. If you don't know what mutabombing means, you group 2 Scourge with a bunch of mutas, and obviously you stack them up so the Terran can't see the Scourge and can't target them, and then you just run in and just use the mutas to cover the Scourge and blow up the vessel. It's pretty sweet when it happens. Anyway. More units coming out. Looks like going up to 6 barracks. Just 1 starport. Getting a 2nd factory actually, so it looks like he's gonna add on some more, probably go for some vultures with mines. Do that transition. And Bakuryu actually has to split this guy out. Okay, looks like he just kills it by himself. That's a pretty standard move, by the way, to just shoot the Hydra that's irradiated. Obviously, you don't want that guy splashing all your troops, and oftentimes it's easier just to attack it rather than splitting it out. So that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. But the hive has finished, and what actually is he going for? Okay, it is just going to be defilers. Hydra Lurker Defiler, man. That's a pretty sick composition. Sounds a little bit more like a CVP composition, but no, it's actually fine in ZVT. As long as it's used correctly. Bakuryu is losing control of his units a little bit. As I said, low APM player, and I think he's actually been forced into an engagement he doesn't want to make here. Getting a nice skewer on some Marines, but Bakuryu's army control, I mean, he's pulling back now. He's got to be really careful how he engages. By the way, as you can see in the middle of the map here, on this is Gladiator, there's these Heartbreak Ridge-esque spokes. So the push is going to be alternating high ground and low ground, and perhaps it'll be a good move for Bakuryu to try and ambush him from the high ground. As you can see, he doesn't get vision up here.